Hi! How is everyone? Welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your true potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Welcome, welcome. We're in the fifth dimension. Are you traveling from the third to the fourth to the fifth? Well, here we are. And what's happening now? We've awakened. Have you awakened already? I believe you have. Have you had a spiritual awakening or something that's changed your belief system? I have. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mary Amy, and I'm coming to you live from New York. This is Living in the Light. And today it is July 31st. We're about to embark on a new month. Are we headed towards the Lion Gates portal, which is coming up in August? And right now it's giving us a chance to manifest. We have that ability right now. There's a portal. There's a doorway. Hey, music. Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. I know I didn't make it here last Friday. I had some, it was a very interesting last couple of weeks. I'm doing better now. I slept a lot over the weekend. I slept 9 hours Saturday and Sunday night. So, and I'm not having sugar or caffeine. I don't know if you've tried that. It's not an easy thing to do when you've been hooked on that kind of stuff. So if you've experienced a spiritual awakening, which will mean that you're going to start to shift into more of yourself, more of your abilities, more of your talents, and you're going to see the world differently. It's like you're coming out of the matrix that I've spoken about. You know, I say that I have this job in the matrix. And what exactly is that? That's this belief system that we have to work 9 to 5 job, and we have to follow basically a certain regimen or storyline that the rest of the world has. And that's all about the systems that we've incorporated in our lives and the attachments that we have, thought attachments, ways that we do things. There's only one way. It's really not a state of mind that you're thinking out of the box. But if you've had an awakening, yay, music, yay. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel, Living in the Light. So if you've had a spiritual awakening or an awakening of some sorts, you're going to start to shift away your belief system, your common beliefs, and maybe those that you encounter in the outer world out here that we can see in the physical reality. You're going to start to question things a little bit more. And it might get even deeper than just on the surface, where you're noticing things like, never thought of it that way before. It might start to change your personality. It might begin to seep into other aspects of your life, and it's a good thing. You might begin to change, like I said, sleep patterns or your eating patterns or what you do normally in your day. You might start to take a little bit of emphasis off of ways and attitudes that you had before and start to shift away from that and look elsewhere. And your interests might seem to change. You're going to move through life differently. No coffee here either. Wow, good for you. No coffee, huh? You might begin to have a heightened awareness, which means that it's almost as though, and it's something that you might have when you become very sensitive. If you're in a situation that all of a sudden either you have something that evokes pain, or you're surprised, or you're caught off guard, you have more of a heightened awareness and sensitivity. That's what might begin to happen to you if you've become awakened. You also might have this longing to find the truth, or you're looking for a place that feels like home, God's source, and you begin to detach yourself from the outer world and you start to look inward, which is kind of what I encourage everyone to do. Now we can promote and bring forward some kind of awakening if you're not already awakened. Now there's been quite a bit of disclosure lately, and we're going to get into that. And I'm using the terminology extraterrestrial and alien watch, because are we going to start to look up in the skies more and see things? And it's going to be we're not going to be considered crazy if we see something in the sky, maybe a UAP, UFO they call it, unidentified anomalous, um, what is it? Anomalous phenomenon, or UFO, unidentified flying objects, which is basically the name's been changed to take away the stigma. Or could it be that they're thinking about doing Project Bluebeam and have holographs in the sky, holographs in the sky, so that we start to think there's an alien invasion when there already has been an alien invasion a long time ago. They're in inner Earth. So tonight we're going to get on to the Alien Watch, advanced technology, and the beached whales, which to me seem to be a sign of something that's about to happen. Okay, so I see we have a little bit note. Bob Harding, I don't know if you're going to realize that we're going live right now, but that's okay. You can always watch it on the recap. Now, if you've awakened, you're most likely on your path to ascending. And you're ascending to a consciousness, which means that you're shifting away from this whole thought that what out here is important. In other words, like what you're wearing, how much money you have, what you do, what you look like. That's not going to matter so much anymore. When you start to climb and ascend to a higher consciousness, you're going to a place where you're releasing a lot of your pain and suffering. You're letting go of that. You're coming to a more blissful state. You're feeling more at peace, more serenity. You're not taking everything so seriously out here. You know, it's funny because pole shift confusing whales. I'm wondering, I'm glad you're giving some kind of input on that music. I'm going to speak about that, those whales. You're starting to come from a place that you don't take everything so seriously. And it's funny because I don't take myself that seriously. But when I do tasks, I am serious. I'm trying to do my best. Like I say, I have best intention, a commitment to do my best. But I see, on this propaganda, the mainstream media, the news, and the government officials, they're all so serious looking, and they're sitting there on these committees and they're telling everybody. But meanwhile, what are they really doing? It's a big hoax to me. It's a psyop. It's just a way to create a perception that they're smarter, they're better, they know more than us. But you know what I think? I think a lot of them are misguided, or they're putting on an act. Now, I watched, I don't know if you did, this extraterrestrial UFO hearing. I'm going to speak about that in just a second. So you're going to ascend to a higher consciousness, and then you're basically becoming awakened, and then you're ascending. And that's just what's going to happen. And more of us are going to ascend because there's going to be disclosure. Now, I know that the elite cabal has this intention of creating fear. They're fear mongers, and they're going to possibly do, and I think it's the last card that they draw out of the deck. They're going to be pretending that there's this alien invasion. So be aware. Just be aware. And it's funny, those out there, those normies, those sleepers, they've been asking me because they know I speak of UFOs and extraterrestrials. They're like, what's the real story on that? And they're a little nervous about it. And I start to tell them a little bit, and I just give them a little nutshell explanation, because I know that I'm going to go off and they're going to really be like, what did we ask her that for? Because I don't know if they're really ready to hear what I have to say. But I hear that there's going to be something happening in the next few days. I don't know if it's real or not, but there's some kind of film coming out that DT made and spent quite a bit of money on it. I don't know if anyone else has heard about this film. And the film is about disclosure. It's called Into the Light. And we've had this disclosure about the human trafficking and the child trafficking recently, the Sound of Freedom, and that has awakened some that there is this human trafficking. Although that film gives the perception that it's only really the bottom of the earth type, the bottom of the, the backhanded kind of, I guess, icky criminals. But we know that there's the elite that's involved in this human trafficking. And there was what's called Pizzagate, where they brought in these children. I got to fix this. They brought in these children, and they called it Pizzagate because there was a pizzeria. I mentioned this in Washington, D.C., that you'd call up and you'd order a boy or a girl. It was either a pizza or a hot dog. The pizza was the girl, the hot dog was the boy. Then there was this store that they would, with art, you saw a large piece of art that was highly expensive. That was a way of trafficking children, because you were buying a piece of art. So that's how you got away with that large sum of money or furniture. So just be aware, just sharing what I've been hearing. Don't trust politicians. Oh, you think? Really? Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised about that. I always want to trust the politicians. More space for us outside as armies cower inside. Yeah, I mean, let's send them love and light and hope that they can figure it out sooner rather than later. So let's get into what was happening with this UFO event. It's pretty exciting. It was on last Wednesday, and it was a hearing before Congress. And they had 3 whistleblowers, and they were holding this UFO hearing. And I'm going to tell you some little tidbits about that. The chairman, Mr. Grothman, there was Miss Luna, AOC from New York. This took place on July 26th. And this was all about extraterrestrials. Now, are these extraterrestrial hands? I don't know. I had found this a few years ago. And look, there's six fingers. And is that really what their fingers look like? I'm not quite sure, because as I said, I haven't seen one in person. Is that a possibility? That's an extraterrestrial and alien hand. So extraterrestrials are species which come from or exist outside of the Earth from a distant planet in the universe. So we are going to be under alien watch now. We're going to start to realize that we're going to be looking out for extraterrestrials and aliens. We're going to have some close scrutiny. We're going to be observing any signals or signs that they are around. Clues, is there evidence of extraterrestrials? AI pictures often generate 6 fingers. Really? Huh. Interesting. And so these 3 whistleblowers, they were speaking about their experiences with UAPs, UFOs. There were 2 pilots, and then there was an intel officer. And they all had quite a bit of disclosure to share. So this happened, it was a little over an hour and a half was this hearing. And to me, I found it extremely fascinating and exciting because it was a reveal. Now you wonder, what's that all about? Why are they going to reveal something right now? So it makes you wonder, if it's out of choice, why are they doing it? Are they doing it to distract something, or are they preparing us for something? There's a reason that the government's doing it. So UAPs, or UFOs, we tend to consider that they look like this spherical, silver-esque looking spaceship. And that's what we've seen in movies, and we've seen for a very long time. Now, this particular photo, I don't know if this is true or not, if this is real, but it looks like an aircraft here, and next to it is the spacecraft. So I'm going to get into exactly what was said. Now, they're looking for whether or not, the reason why they claim that they had this hearing was to say, is this a threat to national security? And how prevalent are these spaceships seen or in our airspace? Now, one of the officials that was there was Mr. Burnett, And we are trying to figure out during this hearing whether or not this is a deep cover-up. And they're looking to basically unclassify some of these classified secret documents that are so beyond even the Congress seeing. And so the three individuals who were the whistleblowers, Mr. Grouch, an intelligence agent officer, retired pilot Favor, 18 years pilot, and Mr. Graves, he was a Fantine pilot for Red Rippers. And what came out of it, I'm just going to brief you on what if you hadn't seen it, I'm going to share with you what came out of it. Because I was really looking for answers. I was really looking to find out, is there something here? Are they going to deny or admit? And what they did was, now the two pilots had experiences seeing UAPs, UFOs, and Mr. Grouch had been on committees of intel that they spoke about retrieved UFOs, debris, and actually non-human beings, pilots from these aircrafts, these spacecrafts. And you begin to wonder, you're like, how did they get here? How can they travel through? Why are they crashing if they can travel, light years away, thousands of miles away? I mean, hundreds of thousands, right? And they're traveling through dimensions. So they traveled at speeds of 2.2 Mach, beyond our human capabilities. We could not handle that. And they jammed radar, these spacecrafts, and their velocity, they had range, velocity, and they literally were with even winds 130 miles an hour, they were standing still, in like not even moving. The wind was not affecting. They were anti-gravity. There was no signs of propulsion, no wings. There is a picture of the Tic Tac. I'll show you the Tic Tac. So this Tic Tac, it looks like this, right? And two little pieces came out from under it, but it does not have wings like what serves us for planes. And it had anti-gravity. That was one view. One pilot spoke of that, and that was from 2004. It was that long ago. Or distraction from, yes, exactly. That's a good idea. Spell it that way. So they were able to break the sound barrier. There was no sonic boom that they could speak of. And apparently, what it seems as though is that there are talks that we have a secret space program, and we have created, through reverse alien technology, some of these crashed spaceships. We've created our own spacecrafts that are able to travel at incredible speeds, and they too are anti-gravity. Now, I'm going to draw the one man spoke about how it looked like this, and I'm going to say, he said that inside of this sphere, this clear sphere, was a dark black cube. And that was this spacecraft, and that's what they saw. So it would be like, they said it was a dark black cube. So I'm going to draw it like this, so you can kind of get an idea. I don't have a picture of that. They just spoke about it. So it would be like, here's the clear sphere, right? And inside is this dark gray black cube. And that's what they saw traveling around in our airspace. And at one point, there was even an indication that there was something below in the water, and the two were communicating with each other. So they said there was no seams, it was white, it was smooth, there was no windows. And then when they spoke about this particular, the Tic Tac, they said that there was, the only thing they saw were these two legs that came out from underneath it. Now, the intel officer said that he was basically threatened, to be harmed about what he was saying, about him sharing the truth. And he was speaking for other whistleblowers. And he had witnessed some disturbing incidents that other whistleblowers, I guess, or other intel officers had experienced that was threatening. So I don't believe that these whistleblowers are allowed to tell the truth. Now, the pilots said that it became the norm for them to see these UFOs in their airspace, but they weren't allowed to ever speak about it or write up reports, and it was not encouraged. However, they said that they had no way of countering these UFOs, these UAPs. Like, it was dangerous. They felt like they were in danger. I mean, it sounds pretty scary to me. So Mr. Grush, Major Mr. Grush, is the one, the main whistleblower, who's the intel agent. He worked for 14 years, national agency, the lead for the UAP, and he retired in April 2022. I think it was 2022 or 2023. I'm not quite sure. Because he was telling his truth, and he was witness to some special access programs, executive levels, all informed. There was multi-decade crashes, so they had more than one that they had seen. Let me just see if I can find some more pictures. Well, here we go. So now these black triangles, I've spoken about them before. Here, I think that that's part of our secret space program. And we have this advanced technology. I'm going to speak about some advanced technology that is probably going to be declassified, and we're going to hear about that and learn about that in our future. Because it looks like to me that we're actually on the brink, and I'm pretty excited about change coming for all of us. And what do I mean by that? The systems are crashing. The WEF is basically losing their power, if not lost their power. Hollywood elite, the Hollywood is done for. They are making deals. There's going to be these tribunals, these military tribunals. Some of them have already occurred, and they're going to basically go to jail or be executed. And those involved in crimes against humanity are no longer going to be permitted to hang out with us. And I did hear that some of them are just going to be leaving our communities, and they're just going to disappear. So the truth always comes out eventually, and it looks like that's what we're headed towards, a lot of disclosure. Not only are we hearing about this UAP, these UFOs, I think that that's an indication more to come. Now, Mr. Graves, one of the pilots, mentioned that he saw a UAP, a UFO. I keep saying UAP now because I feel like that's what they call it. He saw one of these guys, right? And he said it was the size of a football field. And how have they funded the secret space program? And they said that they have basically utilized funds that were for other programs and put it towards the secret space program. So these crashes, basically, we heard about them, and I've spoken about them. We probably Roswell before that, and since, I guess, World War II. This has been going under wraps since World War II. One of the pilots spoke about this dark cube that I just mentioned, this dark cube in this clear sphere, and it was 5 to 15 feet in diameter. Well, 5 isn't very big, right? 5 feet, how big is that? I mean, I'm 5'3", so 5 feet. Like, who's sitting in a 5 feet? But I mean, we're talking about if an alien's inside of it. Like, who's the pilot, right? Are we reminding ourselves that these things are being driven by, are these little green men inside of them? Some kind of humanoid, some kind of, is it a gray alien? What kind of aliens inside of it? I mean, there's many types of aliens. We're going to learn all about that, I'm sure. And so here's this black cube, and he said it was within 50 feet of them, and all of the sudden it moved, and it was 60 miles away, something like that. So these UAPs are able to be in low Earth orbit, maneuver, do these right-hand turns, stop in midair, move. Hey, who's that? James Hadaway, you haven't been here in quite a while. An onion. Never heard of a craft shaped like that. Soft disclosure. Maybe those ones, if they appear, will be. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that all of this is basically for, it's funny because it seems to me that the government has this intention to prepare people for this Project Bluebeam, but what's really going to happen is that there's too many that are becoming awake, and I don't know if people are going to believe that. So this basically has been this failure for our leaders, the government, to share the truth. They've been covering up this for hundreds of years or decades. I'm not really quite sure. And we are basically in the middle of learning about this and many other truths that are going on across the globe. And it's an exciting time to be alive. I am reminding everybody out there to have gratitude for this moment. And how are we going to basically ground ourselves? We're going to imagine our feet firmly grounded in the Earth's surface. If you start to feel like some of the information that's going to be coming out is overwhelming to you, maybe turn it off. Remind yourself of your 3 authentic characteristics that make you genuine. So you kind of lift yourself up. Like I say, imagine your feet firmly planted on the Earth's surface. Have gratitude for this moment. Live in this moment. Touch something so that so you take yourself away from all of your thoughts that are spinning in your head. I mean, some of us might be really just relieved that the truth is coming out. So there's probably going to be other truths that come out that aren't so exciting as these UFOs and these UAPs. It might be something that's a bit of a downer. And we might begin to learn more about what everyone's been doing behind the scenes. The reveal is taking place. And also the fact that more light is coming onto the Earth. Have you seen the Schumann resonance lately? There's a lot of these X-class flares hitting the Earth, and more light is coming on. You might start to have some very unimaginable dreams, your sleeping dreams. And I've been having many dreams lately, and I'm waking up with them, writing them down. And prayers and thoughts, yes. I've heard that UFO crafts are large on the inside. Well, that's interesting because I am a contactee. I don't know if you're a contactee. I've never seen with my eyes out here in the physical reality a spacecraft, but I have been contacted by, and I've told you this, extraterrestrials, and I've been on spacecrafts in the astral realm. So I will go to sleep and have a dream, or I'll have a lucid dream. I'll be falling asleep or waking up, and I will have these communications, telepathic communications. And I have experienced being on a spacecraft. And I have to tell you, though, they look very large on the inside. I never was on below levels. I was always in, I guess you could call it the cockpit. It's where you see out into space. And it usually had some kind of technology on the top of, it would be like, the when you're inside of a car, where, the steering wheel and everything is basically the same thing, except it's larger. It was like, it looks kind of what you would imagine when you watch the TV shows or movies, Star Trek, where you're on the ship, and except there isn't as much technology. It just looked like, to me, this open view of outside to space, and then this platform that had all these buttons and such. So at least that was my perception. Whether or not that's a real thing, I don't know. Maybe it's my imagination, or maybe it's a memory, or maybe it's the future. I don't know. We don't know right now. So these retrieved spacecrafts, they're basically considered artifacts now. They're non-human. And there was non-human beings, humanoid beings, that were found on some of these spacecrafts. And they do have that. Our government does have this. So it's off-world technology. It's off-world technology. And they're considering that it's from the 1930s. It might be a little bit before that, or I don't know. But to find out more, you have to be on these top secret special access, because this is not declassified information. I think that's coming in the future. All right, so that's pretty much, the up, as much as I can remember. Here's like a glimpse of what it looked like from one of the pilot views on the radar. And you know that they haven't shown us all of the photos that they have, obviously, or documentation, because it's all classified. It's all classified. And how have these spacecrafts traveled? Are they interdimensionally? And why have they crashed? Well, the intel officer said that crafts do crash, and it's from omission failure. That's what he said. There's also what's called the holographic principle. 3D objects catch, they're projected to lower dimensional space. So that's kind of what music said. Are they, what did you say? Are they holographs, right? And so you begin to wonder if it's something that they are shooting down from space, and that's how they're traveling interdimensionally. And one of the pilots said that he drove. I heard a pilot mention how he flew right through one of these. So how could you fly right through it? We wonder, right? So I look forward to hearing more about this exotic spacecrafts. I wonder if I showed you everything. There's one that's interdimensional. It goes underwater. Let me see if I have that. That's this one. And I think that this is actually ours, but I know that obviously it's reverse alien technology. It's the black triangle. And so it's submersible. So it's called transmedium. And I've mentioned this before. And I don't have, because it's not permitted. We don't have these photos of anything unless it's on purpose, right? So this is considered an exotic spacecraft. Now, what I realize is it's telling us what did all of this tell us? It told us that we are not alone. We are not alone. We are one species, and there is very possibly hundreds of thousands other planets that have life. Now, I've spoken about the possibility that there are, and these guys, these are gray aliens, as well as shape-shifting reptilians that live in inner Earth. And they have been here for a very long time, and they made deals with us. They made some deals with us so that they could live here. And I don't know. I'm sure that eventually we're going to find out the truth. because for me to be talking about it, someone said it out loud, correct? So allegedly, the secret space programs have cooperated directly with several races of extraterrestrials and the Galactic Federation. And we've already had an alien invasion. All right, so advanced technology. What exactly? Well, we've kind of covered some of that. We already know about some of the advanced technology that exists because we're learning about this through this hearing. If you want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube. The whole entire it's an entirety. However, I do know that they did meet other days and gave classified information, but it wasn't made public. I would have loved to have seen that, right? So advanced technology, what is going to happen for us? What are we learning about? Well, I speak all the time about telepathy. I speak about how we should be tuning into our clear senses and that we are highly advanced. And we have not been practicing. You know, if we started practicing when we were just right out of our coming out of our mother's wombs, we might very well be already just not even using our mouths to communicate. We'd be speaking mind to mind. Have you ever come in contact with someone and they just know what you're thinking, or you can hear what they're thinking, and then they know that you are and they feel uncomfortable? That's because you are actually speaking to them telepathically. And you also might be reading someone based on their energies or their frequencies, their vibration. You might be able to read their thoughts or read their actions, know what they're doing. You're not even present with them, and you're capable of doing that. We are all going to be on that level in the near future. Before that, what I believe is going to happen is not only are we going to find more out about these UFOs, UAPs, but we're also going to realize that there's other technology that's been existing. I've spoken about this looking glass technology, and it's about seeing the past and the yellow cube. And there has been government officials who are aware of this because this is part of the secret space program and the black projects. And this has come through technology from aliens, from extraterrestrials. And we also know that from the past, there were civilizations that did build and create beautiful buildings and monuments, and very possibly, you would say, the pyramids. If you look around on the planet, there's some beautiful buildings that don't really fit with the time period. And that is because there were beings that exterminated them and started civilizations over and changed the history books. We're all going to learn about that. I don't know if you've heard about Nikola Tesla, and he spoke about 3, 6, and 9. He spoke about energy, frequency, and vibration. And we are going to learn about Nikola Tesla, or Tesla technology. There are allegedly trains that travel underneath our Earth, and they can travel at extreme speeds and go across the whole entire globe in a very short period of time. We're going to hear about that. We're going to learn about that. There's also many patents that are going to be released. And I'm also hearing more recently about these med beds. Now, I don't know if you've heard about med beds. I've spoken about them in the past. And they're basically, it's like a pod that you step into or you lay down in, and it closes up and it heals you. There are already cures for diseases. There's cures for cancer. There's cures for anti-aging already that exists. And we are going to learn about this. Now, we know that we've heard like little tidbits about some of these anti-aging treatments, and you use them through, like, you either are holding on to one of these Rife machines and it's vibrating, or you're putting it on one part of your body, or you're stepping on this platform and it's vibrating, and it's healing you. And I know Nikola Tesla invented one of those. And I believe that we're all going to be, in our lifetime, we're going to be able to experience this. Now, I love the idea of anti-aging myself. I'm excited to hear about that. So a med bed is basically you're walking into a chamber, and maybe it's a bubble shape, and it's a capsule, and you walk in, and what it does is it heals you by utilizing frequency, energy, and vibration to heal you. So the frequency cannot be perceived by the human ear. It's a spectrum. It's beyond the spectrum of human hearing. The frequency can be targeted and tweaked, and depending on what needs to be cured or healed. So the technology originated allegedly with the Arcturians. So most extraterrestrial races have formed collective consciousness. So this technology is capable of reading consciousness of these beings to get access of collective consciousness. Now, I've heard about, I don't know if you have, how we are entering into a new financial system. They've spoken about the BRICS. They've spoken about the digital currency. And are we going to have this quantum financial system, which I heard, I don't know, you can hear a whole lot, but what's true or not until we see it with our own eyes, correct? I heard that there's going to be these interviews when the quantum computing takes over the financial systems, and they're going to be able to read your heart to whether or not you are benevolent, if you are like a positive being, I guess you could say, pure and good. And that's what allegedly some of these med beds can do as well. And supposedly these med beds are going to be shared with humanity. So let's hope. So let's cross our fingers. Devices are just physical permission slips so that placebo effect, incredibly powerful healing force that relies on belief. Yes, you know what? I have to tell you, music. So when I studied speech, one of the things that I do, and I'm doing it less lately, but I was doing on a regular basis, 30 minutes a day, is chanting. And my speech coach taught me chanting. And chanting is vibrational, so it's healing. And if I keep up with it, I tend to not get sick because I'm sending this vibration throughout my body. So I do believe that it's not only your mental capacity, your thoughts, which I believe thoughts are very powerful, but it really is this frequency, vibration, and energy together. So what are some other advanced technologies? Well, we know that the US military has this secret space program, this black projects, and it's this clandestine factions of the government, and they're probably going to be declassifying eventually this. And this will mean that we have this technology, this advanced technology, that we won't be needing oil. We will be able to operate a vehicle without using gas or oil or heat our homes with. We'll be using this Tesla energy. Now, is this energy coming from the ether, the atmosphere, and connecting to copper, a Tesla coil, into the ground? So it's the earth, the copper, and the atmosphere, the ether. Now, when I was reading up on Nikola Tesla, this advanced technology, and I combined that with this whole knowledge of the Tartarian civilization, most of the Tartarian civilization, the beautiful buildings, like if you look at Grand Central Station, there's no other building like that, in the way it's very ornate and beautiful, and some other beautiful buildings in the world. You realize that they had, well, if you look in the past, they had these metal tops, or metal. It was metal like copper, and it was always near a body of water. So that's how they got their energy. They did not use gas or oil. We're going to find out about these underground trains, interdimensional spacecraft, so that's how they travel through dimensions. That's how they just disappear. Now, are there trips off planet to Mars and the moon already in deep space? Are there bases? Is there this advanced technology beneath the Earth or in Antarctica? There's a lot of questions, aren't there? I wonder about this. Like, what's really going on? What's really happening? I mean, are we going to be able to travel through? Like, here's somebody traveling over, like through the air. Are we going to be able to fly through the air? And I know this sounds so far-fetched, but nobody believed that there was UFOs, and now we're finding out there are. Is there some kind of time travel device here? Is there a Stargate? So are we going to learn all about the fact that there's anti-gravity technology or time travel where you step within this mechanism or this device and you travel to another location or into the future or into the past? All of this does break the law of physics. And how have we learned about this? Well, through the alien technology, the reverse alien extraterrestrial technology. And now, is there a Space Force command center on Mars or the moon? Hey, Bob Harding, what are you agreeing with? What are you agreeing with? Yes, like cathedral spheres. Yes, thanks for saying that. Exactly, music. You're on the same page as me. I think they captured the voltage differences based on height. And I just want to hold this up because I find this so now we're hearing about some of the negative side of this alien technology, or the Tesla technology, which is the Havana syndrome, where they have this machine, this gun that they can shoot at someone, and it affects their nervous system, and it can cause brain damage, and it's a frequency weapon. And Nikola Tesla did invent the death ray gun, or death beam ray, and that's exactly what it is. And during this UAP hearing, one of the men that was running this committee, this hearing, was startled at one point, and he lost his train of thought, and it was like he was shot with one, with this death beam ray. And they have this advanced technology. Now, we know that they have this through sound, right? They will have one of these big machines if there's a crowd, and they turn it on, and there's a sound that they send out into the crowds, and it pierces your ear, and you can't even you want to get away from it. So there are these negative aspects of this alien reverse technology, reverse alien technology. So here we go. UFO technology has reversed engineered black budget space programs. UFO technology from extraterrestrials past or present, which is possibly like something like this, where you can travel in time, which I want to do. No, I don't know. I have to tell you, because I've had this very vivid imagination my whole life, and I've shared with you, and this is personal experience. I am a very big daydreamer, and I was always interested in Notre Dame in the past, and what was going to happen in the future. And I was always curious about time travel. However, I'm not somebody, I realize now, that I'm interested in time travel, because I'm so happy with my life here that I don't want to ever leave. Like, I don't know if I would be someone that would get in a spaceship and leave Earth, because you don't know if you're coming back. So I don't know if that's a question to pose all of you out there, if that's something that you would be interested in doing. I don't know if I would want to get into this gadget, because I would be fearful that I wouldn't be able to come back to the life now. What if something went wrong? So UFO technology from traveling humans from the future. Has humans traveled from the future to here and now and shared this technology? And now, so time travel. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because we're now learning about this technology that is thousands of years ahead of us or behind us or wherever it's coming from another galaxy. And we are realizing that there's things like there are wormholes, there are extra dimensional manipulations, and there's ways of traveling to other galaxies that we never even considered. We were like, oh, that's science fiction. That's science, but everything is shown to us before. So know that if you see something, know that it's existing in some way. And that's why I kind of say to you, watch out for this good and evil. You know, this has been a spiritual war, and it's now coming to a head. Everything's going to be revealed, and all the bad stuff is going to be shown, and the evil, whatever they are, if they're an evil reptilian, we're going to hear about them, right? And are some of these beings out there like a malevolent extraterrestrial? Because let me gather some of the experiences that I've seen recently. There was the woman on the plane who said that's not human or that's not real. And then more recently there was some of these politicians in Washington, and they were speaking, giving a speech, and then there was somebody behind them saying all the words, like were they telepathically sending them the information? I don't know. I'm just excited to find out what's really going on. Are you? I'm so excited. So advanced technology. These planes, these aircrafts are able to operate over water with no wings. The object shifted, began to climb. This is reverse alien technology, and they travel 15,000 feet, 12,000 feet, and then gone, and they're 60 miles away in less than a minute. This has not been reported. So UAPs and UFOs, the same thing. I'm just saying the same word because I don't know if everyone knows what they are. 95% of the sightings and encounters have not been reported. So what are we basically about to encounter right now? I'm going to read you what you have to say, Bob Hardy. 1 second. Are we going to have a black swan event? What is that? It's an event that we are not anticipating. It's something that's going to happen that we are going to say, oh my gosh. But then in retrospect, we'll say, oh, well, that makes sense. Are we about to have that happen? And what is that going to be? Because everything is coming to a head now, isn't it? I mean, everything politically is coming to a head. Everything in the medical field is coming to a head. There's a lot of information that's being released about medicine and big pharma that they weren't really being honest. It was all about them making the money, getting the money in their hand, and not really caring about humanity. And now with the UFOs, and I'm sure there's going to be more and more disclosure, so pay attention. Bob Harding, music, so many secrets described were healing waters. Really? What? I didn't know about this, Bob Harding. There was waters flowed and churches were constructed. That's terrible. Yeah, well, there's been harvesting. There's been also non-human harvesting. Oh, yes. I want to mention that they're talking about now we're going to start to see what's been in the DUMS tunnels and how they've been doing these experiments where they've been slicing genes of humans and then mixing it with different, like a frog or another animal. It's very disgusting, and it's so wrong to hurt creatures of the earth like this, and to create this thing that this living creature that is going to be suffering just because these people are just wacky. They're just wackos doing this horrible stuff. I had a thought a few nights ago, and it was sad thinking of the deceit and how they made us. I know, I know, I know, and all the pain that's been caused and the the hurt. So is there going to be this event? Now, is it going to be the financial crash? Because, I started to think about this today. With this new information that's come out with the UAPs, UFOs, is that going to change people's belief regarding religion? Is it going to change people's belief about, well, if this is going on, why am I going to a 9 to 5 job? Well, I think when some of the energy, the the free energy information comes out or is released, we might begin to question whether or not we should be doing all the things that we're doing every day. The have tos. We have to. I mean, we have to all pay our bills, don't we? Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Atlantis all over again. Correct. I went to my only zodiac lay in the US, and I can describe it as who wanted to experience someplace where many these. Yes, the ley lines, exactly. Is it going to be a financial crash? Is it going to be because of military tribunals? Is there going to be a film that is on all of the televisions and it's going to be disclosing all of the evildoers, all of the elite cabal, all the politicians that were doing the stuff that we didn't know that they were doing right underneath our eyes? 13 bloodlines, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the different popes. What's really going on in England and Britain with the kings and the queens, and then the Vatican and the popes. I mean, what's really been going on? And I've had some dreams lately, and I was in tunnels with some children last week in one of my dreams, and some of them were actually children. It's a really strange dream. I don't know if I mentioned this, if I did the last video, but I had this dream that I was underneath the ground. There were all these tunnels and there were all these children, and I was trying to save them, and it was food and I was giving them food, but then some of them weren't children. Some of them were evil shapeshifters. And then I was basically trying to divide the real children from these shape-shifting evil. They were pretending to be children, but they weren't. So I don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to have military tribunals and executions, and that's going to wake us all up? And is the alliance, the Earth Alliance, which is the Space Force, the White Hats, DT, you want to say QAnon? Q basically has been giving away since 2017 little cryptic messages. The storm is upon us, what's about to happen. So we have to pay attention and just be aware. And is it going to be because we're going to find out all those that committed treason against our planet and hurt us? So that's what is about to happen. So let me mention the whales before we get on to psychic phenomenon. Okay, and I'm going to mention angels as well. So I have a picture. Now this to me is an indication of something that's shifting. I don't know if you've heard about this. So last week, I guess it was 4 days ago, I want to say. 4 days ago in Australia, I have so many pictures here, but I don't hold everything up because, I just get talking and I forget. So in Australia, there was over 100 whales that gathered together. And they gathered together and they came inshore. They came from the deep waters, and this is what it looked like from an aerial view. And there was hundreds of these. It was very mysterious, these pilot whales. And they came in, inward. And this happened on July 29th. And it was, they were beached, and they chose to come on shore. And there was volunteers that tried to save the whales. There was 100 of them. They were stranded on the beach, and they would take them out to the water. And it would take after 45 minutes, they would come back in. The whales would come back in. So I don't know what they were, if they heard something. and they couldn't save the whales, and they had to euthanize some of them. Some of them just died. Half of them died. There was over 350 people trying to save these whales, these pilot whales that came on shore. They were swimming in shallow waters on the Chesapeake Beach, and they formed a ball shape. And it was very, very sad. And like now that I'm thinking about it, I could cry. It's very mysterious. Why did they come on shore? Why did they come out of the deep waters? And it was like they were killing themselves, basically, because then they couldn't survive. Now, you wonder, is this some kind of momentous event that is happening? Is this an indication? A while back, I spoke about how different insects and birds and animals were walking in a circle. This probably had to be 6 months ago. And they were walking in a circle, ants were walking in a circle. There were all these species walking in a circle. And then if you cut the time in half, there was that moment where there was that red cloud that basically looked like a vortex. It curled inward, a very large red cloud. I'm trying to remember what continent that was near. And that was a very strange environmental event. And so now we have these hundreds of pilot whales that beached themselves and then they died. So it's to me an indication of something that's about to happen. And animals know ahead of time. I felt on Friday there was a weird energy coming out. Now we know in the past few weeks we've had these issues with on the East Coast. I don't know where you live, with the Canadian wildfires burning all at the same time, and there's this orange colored smoke, and then it smells like plastic, and it happened a few times, and then they speak about the air quality. So is that something they're burning? Is that the Canadian wildfires? Are they trying to block the sun? What exactly is going on? But I don't trust the government. I don't know if you do. But you probably know that already about me. I don't know. Unless I can see it for myself, I don't believe it, right? Through a negative lens, all that is happening is divinely orchestrated. How can we be deemed wrong by us? No, I believe I believe that, I'm going to bring on angels now, because that how I feel about angels. Angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. I have a picture I'm going to show you because that's what I like. Well, that looks very filled with light. That's going to be us. We're all going to have that much light beaming off of us, aren't we? So where is an angel picture so I can show you? Angels, angels, angels. So I got my angel photo. I have to show you angels. I just got overwhelmed with all these pictures today, didn't I? Because why don't I have it here? I can share light on the horizon if things are coming beyond our view. Maybe I'll do that. So we're going to say light on the horizon, but we're going to mention angels as I hold this up. So angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. Yeah, I know what it looks like now. It's like a glossy photo. Did I drop it? Did I maybe drop the photo? Taking too much time, I know. Probably hate that, right? But you know how I am. I'm very visual. I like to show things. Well, angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. There's 9 ranks of angels. You can ask for an angel to come down from the heavens, and they will be here with you. I mean, they say we each have 2 guardian angels that are with us from birth. Now, maybe if you've opened up your third eye chakra, maybe by tapping, you've become clairvoyant. You can see the past, present, or future. Maybe you can connect to another realm. You can have your eyes open and you can see another realm. Like right now, if I was to look in my third eye, what do I see? Usually the same thing. I see this white fence. It looks like it's a pasture. There's green grass, and there's usually nature. There's usually some kind of animal. For a long time, I saw many angels, but So you can tap, you can rub your finger in a circle right here between your two eyebrows. You can ask for light to shine on you. Maybe you put a gem. Maybe you close your eyes and you really, really focus on opening up your third eye. And you might be able to connect to an angelic realm. So there's these angels, and they're divine, and they come from the heavens, and they're close to God. And the 9 ranks of angels, we have guardian angels, and next beyond that is archangels. And archangels are warriors, and they're messengers, and they guide us. So you can ask for angels to come into your life, your inner life, your outer life. Maybe you hear a whisper in your ear about something you should do, or a brush across your face, or you see a twinkle out of the corner of your eye. Usually they have halos and wings in fine arts. And I've spoken about angels for a very long time, I believe, because I had my near-death experiences that I traveled over at one point, and I connected because it's been something I've been preoccupied with, angels. And we have been fighting, and we have defeated evil. And evil is basically leaving the earth, and we are bringing light here, and we are bringing happiness and goodness and serenity, and we're all going to come out of our homes and hug one another. And we're going to realize that we haven't been free up until now. We've been enslaved. We've been programmed. We've had these belief systems that were put on us. How many of your own thoughts are yours? So let's close our eyes right now, and let's consider that we're going to create the world that we want to live in. We're going to create this world ourselves. What does Barb Harding say? Created to express some grief towards loss so much it's sad. All right, so we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to imagine. First, we're going to drop down. We're going to let go of any tension in our arms. And we're going to let go of any tension in our neck, in our body. We're going to let out a breath. Any energies that you want, just let them stream out of your fingertips. So get comfortable. And let me remind you that you're going to imagine the base of your spine is firmly planted. It's going to imagine it into the earth as well as your feet. Because we're going to ground ourselves in this moment. We're going to have gratitude. We're going to say, I'm so grateful that I'm here and I'm alive. And I'm going to remind you that you're a beautiful being of light. You're highly advanced. You're multidimensional. It doesn't matter where you live, what you look like, what you have, or what you do. You're beautiful as is. And you need to acknowledge that. You need to have self-worth, self-love. Can't love anybody out here unless you love yourself. So we're going to tune into our heart. And we're going to imagine right now, after we relax, we push away any thoughts, any doubt that we can do this. We're going to have self-confidence, a willingness to practice some of the psychic phenomenon. And so we're letting go of any tension. And we're having gratitude. And I'd like you to do is just inhale. And do some inhales and exhales so that you're more and more relaxed, so you have more stillness. So we're going to inhale. And we're going to exhale. One more time. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale. We're going to drop down into our physical vessel. We're going to have focus and concentration. Now, before we do one of our sense activities, I'd like us to tune into our heart and give this a chance for a moment. I'd like you to tune into your heart, which means that you're going to basically, whatever that is for you. Every one of us is going to have a different experience. There's no right or wrong here. I'm giving suggestions because I'm hoping that we have a way of healing, a way of tuning into yourself and knowing more about your inner life. You have an inner life that you're creating. And that inner life, you're going to be guided and you're going to realize more of what you want and you're going to claim it. You're not going to let it just go and say, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I can't have that. You're going to claim whatever you want. But you have to do it. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to claim it yourself. And you have to create it within you. Okay, so I'd like you to tune into your heart right now, which means imagine you're seeing within inside your heart right now. So it's visible to you in your heart chakra. And what's inside of your heart, you're going to see the size of a soccer ball. Inside your heart is this size of a soccer ball, white, beaming light that is full of energy. And it's powerful and it's inside of you. And it is strong. And it is real. It's a real energy inside of you. It takes up space. It's, like I said, the size of a soccer ball within you. And this light within you is powerful. And it's relieving you of any pain that you have inside of your heart. So I'm hoping that if I say tune into your heart, what are you feeling? You're now feeling like, oh, wow, it's magnetic. I can do anything I want. What do I want? What do I see? What do I feel? And inside this very powerful soccer ball size light in your heart space, I want you to place the concept of something that you want, something that you've dreamed of, something that would make you excited and happy inside your heart, because it's going to be close to you. You're going to make it real. So whatever it is, I'm going to be quiet right now, and I'd like you to imagine it inside of your heart. You can say whatever it is. You can imagine it in a sentence. You can imagine a picture of it. Whatever it is, you're placing it inside your heart right now, in this moment. And what you're doing now is you are together, syncing together your dream, your wish, your goal with light inside of you. And that's what you're doing. And it's going to stay there. And it's inside of this light. And this light is powerful. And this light is giving you energy. And this light is going to take you to it. This light, now you're going to either have a dream about it, or you're going to have some impressions about it. We speak about impressions, and it's going to stay there. And you're going to ask it to stay inside this light inside of your heart. And it's going to be real. And it's going to happen for you. And if you have that belief, if you have that intention, it definitely is going to happen. Now, maybe it's not going to happen in the time frame you want. Maybe it's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I promise you. Okay? All right, so that's that. So now what I'd like you to do, let's do some psychic phenomenon. Let's see if we can channel or find out something new. All right, so anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Nice, Bob Harding. Yes, we shouldn't have any fear, actually. We should let go of fear. That's a belief system. All right, so what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to, again, relax. Let go of any tension in your body. Let out a breath. And I'd like you to, again, imagine that your feet are firmly planted in the earth's surface, and also that your root chakra, the base of your spine, is traveling down into the earth, and you're grounded and you have a gratitude for this moment. You believe anything is possible. You have a good intention. And I'd like you to now relax, let go of any tension, and you are dropping down into your physical body. So all the weight is in your bottom. You have concentration and focus. And now I'd like you to tune into one of your clear senses. And we're going to just focus on one today. We're not going to focus on two or three, just one. And that's entirely up to you which one you'd like to focus on. Is it your hearing? Is it your seeing? Is it your feeling? Is it your touch? Is it your smell? Is it your taste? It's entirely up to you. You have a knowing, so you're going to receive impressions. And so the impressions are going to come through as a mental picture, some kind of very fast sensation you're going to receive. Now, if you accept it and try to stay in the moment of whatever's coming through, you can receive more information. Now, sometimes it's very difficult to have that concentration, but it's not impossible. So I'm suggesting when you receive information, you try to stay in it so you gather more, because it's for you. Whatever you're receiving is for you, entirely for you, because you're operating on a certain frequency and vibration. And it's meant for you. All right, so my suggestion today, so tune into one of your senses. I'm going to tune into my clear audience, which is what I usually do. And then if that doesn't work, I jump to another sense. And my suggestion today is, if you're in the clear sphere with the black cube, what is your experience? Can you get inside there? Can you have remote viewing? Or can you receive any sensations or information, any impressions about that? So you're in the UFO sphere or the black cube, wherever that is. Let's see if we receive any information. This is a reach. This is advanced. All right, so I don't know if you received anything. I did. Okay, so what did I see? So it's interesting because when I do my hearing, I sometimes don't hear anything initially, and then I jump to one of my other senses. And since we're not doing that today, I stuck by my rules, what I said. I have a tendency, I'll receive information by looking down. So I'm hearing, but looking down. And so what did I see? I'll tell you what I saw exactly. So what I saw that I was inside of this space. And it looked to me like everything around was essentially like the whole wall around me of this, inside of this, I couldn't discover the difference between being in the cube and the sphere. I don't know if the cube is actually, when you're inside of it, it didn't seem to me like you could see the cube. Like the cube is maybe something that is invisible when you're inside of it, which doesn't make sense, but that's what I saw. But what I saw was the whole thing on the inside looked like all of these circles like this. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know what your experience was, but the whole wall was like this. That was inside of the sphere and the black cube. That's what I saw. And I didn't have any sense of worry or fear. It just felt like, how do I say it? Like I was paused in time. That's what it felt like when I was inside. I was paused in time. Like didn't feel like it was traveling. It just felt like it was time stood still, if that makes any sense. Did anyone have an experience? I got an image of a sphere fluid that changes shape to input maybe the inner cube to be able to. Really? Magnetic fluid with iron particles. Interesting. Anybody else have anything they want to share about what their experience was using your clair senses? What your experience was? If you were in the black cube sphere that was they spoke about at the UFO hearing. All right, so before we go, I just want to mention to you that I'd like you to practice some of the clair exercises. And I want you to also be aware that right now is a time that evil is scrambling. So last week I had the experience that something was trying to push on my thoughts. They were giving me thoughts, very like not such good thoughts. And there is technology that can do that, place thoughts in people's minds. And we believe that they're our own. So be sure that every thought is yours. So the more that you become aware, the more that you have expanded your consciousness, you will begin to realize. I also had the experience when I started watching the UFO hearing for the second time. I started having pain in my head, like someone was sending me pain not to watch it. And I at first was like, what's going on here? Because it was real pain, like it was like someone was putting pain in my head. I said, go away, you're not allowed to be in my head. What Bob Harding see? I saw a charge that spread across space stuff and created geomagnetic shapes that connected. Very cool. Well, see, everyone's having some really wonderful experiences. It's exciting. What are your dreams like? I'm sure you're sleeping dreams. Now, I usually start the video every time and speak about the 3 important suggestions, and I realized I forgot that. One is our sleeping dreams, to write them down when you wake up. Write down your emotion, write down a little interpretation or description, write down the date, and maybe it will turn out to be a premonition dream. It might be an indication of something that you should be paying attention to, or you might be releasing something you can't manage to release while you're awake. Because as we ascend and as we awaken, I spoke about spiritual awakening and mystical awakening, or some kind of awakening you've had because you realize that there's another reality out there, the 5th dimension timeline. You're going to start to have some of these dreams, maybe a lucid dream, maybe you'll have telepathic communications. You might become more clairvoyant. You might begin to have contacts from other dimensional beings, or, I don't know, move differently in the astral realm. Okay, so 1 is your dreams, 2 is your intention, that commitment to do your best. You can change outcomes, and thoughts can change outcomes. If we live in this moment right now and we consider right now in this moment what we want, and I've spoken about this, and that's why we did the little exercise with our heart. In this moment, we can create whatever we want. We can create a different outcome. We can change outcomes. If we live in the moment and we don't project, we're actually stretching out time. Time really is not what we think it is. Time is not what we think it to be. Like, imagine right now we're stretching out this moment. Here we are. How long is this moment? I'm just saying it. Here we are. There's so much we can do in every moment. All right, so let me remind you about some practice you can do on your own, which is telepathy, sending telepathy messages, maybe to a friend. You practice together, you set a time and date, and you send information, and maybe they write it down or they send you information mind to mind. Maybe you pick a time and you just say, okay, I'm going to send you a message. Let's see if you receive it. We can do the ball of light. We rub our hands together. We take them apart. Do we feel friction or something on the palms of our hands? And we create a ball of light. We bring light into this space. The more light we bring into our human energy field, the more we're going to clear away negativity and anything toxic that's bothering us. We also begin to create another reality, our dreams. We can bring our destiny forward. So that's why I suggest to create a ball of light. You don't have to just do it with me. You can do it on your own. You might think it's like, that's so silly. But I'm telling you, it's going to change your reality. Okay? All right, everyone. It was lovely being here. Time travel is just dialing into a different frequency. Yes, it is. I travel when I close my eyes at night. I hear I hear a frequency. I hear another dimension, and I tune into that, and then I travel there. And that's what I do. I hear it, and then I move through the sound into the space. All right, I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish. I want good things for you. I hope you like the video and subscribe. Anyone who's new, thanks for joining us. Please write in the chat in the future. So I'm spinning light, and you're in the center, and I'm definitely going to do another video this week. I'm sorry about last week. I just had something that came up. All right, so I'm spinning it the other direction. Let me imagine this light around you. I'm all about wishes and dreams and hopes, aren't I? And I want good things for you, everyone. You're a cherished being of light. I'm sending you light and love. Be well. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye. And Elsa says goodbye. Elsa, you want to say goodbye? There's little Elsa. Can you see her yawning? Okay, bye, everybody. See ya. See you soon.